Hey everyone, it's Jerry at the Fledge. Welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. Today on the show, we have our good friend, Mr. Matt Zarka. How you doing today, Matt?
I'm doing great, Jerry. How are you?
I am doing well. So,
Awesome.
Where you at? What you doing?
Right now, I'm sitting in my shop doing this podcast with you, and that's about it. I'm here until 3 today, but we
All
closed
right.
early so we can do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna thank you for doing that. You tried to get back out of it yesterday. You thought my show was called Every Damn Other Day or something like that. No, but thanks for being on. I appreciate you making it work.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
So you and I, we've met, I think, over Bitcoin, right?
Yes.
We both had ATMs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead. You were going to say.
Well, I was going to say, I think you guys kind of found me. I didn't know anything about the Fledge, or you or David, and I was watching Kitco one day. Well, rewind way back to the beginning. In 2012, I found Bitcoin by, just chance. I found the white paper and started reading it. And I was like, wow, this is the money of the future. I swear to God, I said that to myself. I got chills and everything. And then I tried to figure out how to mine Bitcoin and could not for the life of me figure out how to do it. There wasn't very much documentation online or instruction. So I kind of let that go wayside and didn't even think about Bitcoin again for 5 years. Until 2017, I was on Kitco, where I had never seen a Bitcoin ad before in my life, or in the 5 years that I've been watching it. And an ad for Bitcoin came up and said it was about to surpass the price of gold. And I said in my head that day, if I see this thing go past 1 ounce of gold, I'm going to go buy a Bitcoin. And it did that day. So it was on a mission. I was on a mission that day to go get a Bitcoin, and I ended up buying one in Detroit at an ATM. Yeah. Which led me to the idea of getting a Bitcoin ATM in Lansing, because I actually did go to the Fledge in Grand Ledge to get my first Bitcoin, but the machine was empty.
Yeah.
And it was really, to be honest with you, I was like shit my pants going down there, because it was like you had to go down to the back of the building, side of the building, and then down these steps, and then it was all dark and nobody was in there. And I was like, hello, hello, hello. And then I saw the ATM machine and tried to use it, and it wouldn't let me. So I'm like, I'm out of here, man. This is crazy. Bitcoin shady.
So around 2012, I was in Dubai. I was in a part of Dubai called Diriyah. And I saw some article somewhere about the world's first Bitcoin ATM, and that it was really shady. And somebody wanted to find it, and there was talk that it was in Diriyah in Dubai. So I went looking for that thing all over the place. It was in a shady basement, just like mine was. And about, I don't know, maybe 4 years later, 3 or 4 years later, I had an opportunity to get a Bitcoin ATM, and I jumped on it.
Nice.
So that was a Michigan State student. What's Dupree? Is that kid's name? Mike Dupree? You know him?
Sounds right. I'm not sure.
Easy bit. But anyways, and then I think you had an ATM. We had an ATM. David was an angel investor and all that. And the Lansing State Journal wrote an article about us three.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then we were like, well, we got to find this Zarka guy. And we went and had lunch.
Yeah, I know. That was awesome. I bought that Bitcoin ATM machine and was very, very green. Had no clue how to even use it. So it was all on the fly. As I got it, I was learning, and I got it going, and ended up buying 2 more, actually. So I had 3 ATMs around Lansing at one point.
Yeah, I bought one from you later on.
Yep.
So, that was tough, man. That was weird figuring all that out. I was lucky in the beginning because I had someone else managing it for me. So I was learning the ropes, and he was taking all the kind of legal risk. Man, that was scary. That was super scary.
Well, I actually, I set up a separate corporation for the Bitcoin ATM machine business. It was called Gold Keys Inc. And then I went ahead and paid for a professionally written KYC policy. And I was contacting the state of Michigan, asking them if we needed any type of, money businesses license or money transmitters license, money services businesses, license. And they were like, nope, you don't need any of that. It doesn't qualify. There's no regulation at the moment.
Yeah.
And then when I turned that thing on day one, I was getting scared too. Yeah. I was. It was doing too much money, and with no regulation and no control over that, it was just risky business at the time. Risky.
And that, well, first of all, the government had no idea what to say to you, so
Right.
You'd ask them questions and they wouldn't know. And then that ATM that you were talking about in the basement was always out of Bitcoin because constant use. I mean, it was just constantly being used, and there'd be $300,000-$400,000 in that damn thing, just sitting there, and that got scary as shit.
Right?
People think it's mine, and then the police showing up all the time. Well, there was this Bitcoin scam and this Bitcoin, and it was just, this sucks. That was very
down. I didn't want to do it anymore. It didn't seem worth it to me. It was making decent money, but the risk reward factor to me was just not enough. It was unknown.
Well, then you'd see these guys in New York go to prison for 10 years, and it's like, man, what are we doing here?
The local Bitcoins guy got in Detroit. He went to prison, and there was a few other people, and everybody's being called a money launderer, and I didn't want to get involved with that. Especially, I felt it being in my pawn shop too might have been a little weird.
Well, yeah, let's go to that a little bit. Let's step back a little bit. Tell us something about you. Tell us a little bit just about you for a minute.
Okay, well, my name is Matt Zarka. I grew up in Lansing. I went to school, here in Lansing, Pattongill, Eastern. Did a little bit of community college. I grew up in the construction business, so my first job I ever had, I was a painter, and I painted professionally for about 8 years, and then I became a real estate agent, and I did that for 1 year, licensed real estate agent, and then while I was doing that, I ended up acquiring a builder's license, so then I was a licensed builder and real estate agent for about 4 years together, and then we have a little gap in time. And then after the gap in time, I was wanting to restart the construction company, but the time wasn't right for that in 2012. And my cousin Joe was actually running Pawn Just Jewelry on the south side of Lansing. So I went to him and asked him if he needed any construction help in his shop because it was a mess in there. And he said sure, and let me come work for him out of the kindness of his heart for a little while. And as I was working in his shop, I noticed what he was doing behind the counter, buying gold and diamonds and doing the loans. And that intrigued me highly, and I learned his business. And within 7 months after that, I opened this store. And that's how I got into this business. And for the last 8 years, I've been practicing at the bench. So I'm a decent jeweler now, too.
Yeah. So a lot of times, people don't think of a pawn shop as a jeweler, or at least I don't, right? I don't think of you as having a craft and that you're going to melt down this gold. I think of you as, I've got this never happened, but I've got my grandmother's wedding ring, and I'm going to bring it to you, and you're going to give me some horrible price, and I'm going to end up losing my grandmother's wedding ring, and you are evil for that, right? That's right. A lot of people do that, but I don't think that's really the case, right?
It's not really. It's not.
Because
jewelry is handcrafted mostly, so a lot of the value when you buy brand new jewelry from a new store comes from the person who created the piece, the brand name it's being represented under. That's a lot of the value. There's a 300 to 400% markup on jewelry that is bought brand new in a jewelry store. And when you bring it into a pawn shop, it's much like going to Padnos to scrap metal.
Right.
Everything is based on on scrap weight and the price of spot price at the time when you're selling it.
So, I mentioned that I went to Dubai, or I'd been to Dubai a bunch of times actually, but they have a gold souk there. And it's just more gold than you would ever see anywhere. And one of the things that was interesting to me is no matter what you bought, they weighed it and that was the price. They didn't charge for the craftsmanship and the artistic value and all of that. So anytime you bought gold in Dubai, you were paying much like you would with liquor here, right?
Sure.
There's a regulated price, and that's what everyone kind of has to stick to. I thought that was interesting, and I never really understood it so much until you and I just talked a little bit ago. Yeah. Now I understand why they did it that way.
That's similar to how I sell gold in here too. So anything that I sell is always just weighed and times by a percent of spot price, slightly over spot for my jewelry that I sell. And when I'm buying it for slightly under spot price. So, as that number fluctuates, my prices go up and down. So it's consistent. It's consistent.
Yeah. So, all right. So that makes a lot more sense. How do the things tie together? How does gold and the pawn shop and Bitcoin and...
So in my head, Bitcoin is like a digital gold. It's an asset that's highly liquidable. Bitcoin is more liquidable than gold, though. So to me, Bitcoin is like gold 2.0. And it makes a lot of sense to me, just like gold does, to have that in the pawn shop because people will buy and sell that constantly. And because of that price action, there's money to be made there. So like, I actually considered recently maybe letting people sell me Bitcoin in here or even pawn it if they want to buy it back, similar to a piece of gold. So you come in, you got a half a Bitcoin and you want to borrow, $8,000. Well, you can. And I'd give you 8,000 cash. You'd give me the half a Bitcoin and we'd hold it. In 30 days, you could pawn it back, buy it back. But I'm not sure if regulations caught up far enough for me to do that yet. So that might have to be like a side business if I did it and not actually through the point of sale.
Are there
that's
some...
That's how it ties together for me. To me, it's like an asset that is worth, has X amount of value and that I'm willing and confident enough to take that asset and give you a percentage of that value in trade. I'm a believer enough that I'm not afraid to do it at all. I'll buy all the Bitcoins.
I think that before Bitcoin, there was an attempt similar to Bitcoin, a digital money that was called BitGold, right?
I do remember that too. Yeah,
it failed, or never really quite got off the ground, and now there's Bitcoin Gold. So, are there smart contracts that'll hold that?
Gold too. Smart contracts that go with what?
That would hold that, like keep you from selling that Bitcoin. Unless I didn't pay you.
I'm unaware. I'm unaware of a smart contract. That's why I'm saying I don't know if anybody's even really thought of or attempted to build something like this, a smart contract like that. Interestingly enough, I don't know. I don't think there's anything like that yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, this is so exciting. Maybe
David, maybe we need to write that.
Maybe we do. We often, when we're talking about Bitcoin and people are like, well, we don't know what it's going to do and it's not going to do this. And it's, it's speculation and all of that. I like when we respond that this is like the first days of the internet or the first, as soon as people started getting Netscape or AOL or email, they had no idea what the internet was going to bring to them and how it was going to change our lives. And we're right there. We are at AOL and Netscape with digital currencies, cryptocurrencies right now. And yeah, they're fun. to speculate on and all that stuff, like in 2018 when we were all going nuts and celebrating every day. But there's some really good things that can happen with this.
Yes, and that are happening.
Tell us some of those. Tell us a couple of things.
Well, a couple things that I'm aware of. When people say Bitcoin, you're really talking about the general market, all the cryptocurrencies, in my opinion. When I say Bitcoin to somebody, I don't necessarily mean specifically Bitcoin, because there are a ton of cryptocurrencies. Maybe a better term would be, crypto. It was a more blanket word to cover the whole scene, I guess. Things that are happening right now that I find very intriguing and very useful, I think, is the system, something called a DAO. And a DAO is run by a community of people. It's all voluntary. And the coin that they use within this DAO, the payment system, the value system, becomes a governance token. Are you familiar with Uniswap?
Yes.
Okay,
well,
so
because of you,
they just airdropped a bunch of uni tokens to everybody that have used the platform prior to whatever date it was. So if you were just connected to the site, not even did a transaction prior to October 1st, you got about $1,500 in Uniswap tokens for free. Those tokens are used for governance. You can sell them and get the money. But more importantly, they identify you as an individual, and they give you voting power. And each person that holds these tokens can vote in the amount of token that they hold. So this pretty much eliminates any discrepancies in any type of voting system. This voting system where somebody can put up a proposal to change all of Uniswap, and if enough people vote for it that are holding uni tokens, then this proposal passes, and that proposal is implemented, whether anyone the community wants it. So it's a democratic way. It's like the most democratic system you could have. This is what the people want. The people vote. The people make the proposals, and things are passed, and other people voluntarily implement them. So I love that. Nobody owns it.
So there's, we're gonna lose people if we get too technical right now. But there's
so voting in simplicity. An individual vote is huge with blockchain or Bitcoin, in my opinion.
And secure, and you can't corrupt it. You can't modify it. It's
actually become the most secure system in the world now.
Yeah.
The most secure system in the world.
Then we got quantum computing. We got to talk about all that and all kinds of stuff.
It might be another show.
Yeah. But I want to go to something that you and I think we agree on something. I have always, in the vein of keep Austin weird, I have always said keep Bitcoin shady. And, that comes from when we were first getting into Bitcoin. It was Silk Road. That's how you buy drugs and get people killed on the internet. Right. And none of that I knew of was happening. Well, maybe the drug part a little bit, but, I didn't know anybody using Silk Road. I played around and bought marijuana seeds from Amsterdam using Bitcoin because I just thought it was funny, but they emailed it to my house and my Coinbase account was tied to my bank account. So it wasn't exactly like I was
hiding anything, right?
Hiding at all. It's one of the most transparent systems in the world if you can tie the endpoints together. But anyways, we always said keep Bitcoin shady. And to me, I didn't want the traditional people getting involved because as soon as, Chase Bank gets involved, they're going to screw it all up and it's going to mess with the price and all of that. So keeping it shady, keeping it, on the streets, keeping it with the people, that seemed so important to me. And that's what I always meant by keep it shady. But also those were the guys that came and used my ATM, to be honest.
Right. Me too. I was also never part of Silk Road. I never even really heard of it until it came into light, in the news, and people were getting arrested and they were saying this and that. And I was like, what is this Silk Road thing?
Yeah.
So I was completely unaware. But yeah, Bitcoin, you don't want to use that to do anything shady. It's one of the most traceable currency. Well, it is the most traceable thing there is. It's immutable. Can't change it. Once it's recorded, that's it. If that wallet address is identified to you or tied to you, can't get around it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pros and cons.
Why do you like the phrase keep Bitcoin shady?
I like it because I know it's a people's money. This thing gets into government control and is open and available everywhere. I don't know. It just seems right to keep it away from regulation, away from the government, big money corporations. I don't know. It's a people's money. I can trade it to you. You can trade it to me. That's all you need to know about it, really.
And I can become bankable where other systems won't let me be bankable. I can be, I could be an oppressed person in a foreign land or in this land for that matter, that maybe my husband doesn't let me bank, but I can bank with Bitcoin.
That's right.
Things. So what's something you do every damn day in the crypto world or in the gold world or in the pawn world that kind of moves your mission forward?
Well, every day that moves my mission forward. So every day I'm in here thinking of new ways to make this brick and mortar business grow. And I've done a lot of different things in here. I'm almost like ADHD when it comes to business. I start a lot of things that they don't start panning out. I move away and on to the next one. So most recently, I got a laser cutter coming to my shop. So I'm supposed to be here sometime today, and I can't wait to get it. It's a Glowforge laser cutter inscriber. So this is going to be a new addition to the business model here, and more things that I can create and use my creative mind and artistic ability to bring out physical items from mind to tangible. So that's what I like to do in here. As far as Bitcoin goes, what do I do for that to push that forward every day? I just keep buying more on the dips. That's I don't know what to say about it. To me, it's more of an investment now. Like in the beginning of the internet, when somebody said you need an email address, and you're like, "What the hell's email?" Nobody wanted one. It's almost the same theory now, like you were saying earlier in the Netscape days and AOL, where everybody needs Bitcoin, but they just don't know it yet.
Yeah,
look at Jerry.
Came.
Glowforge is here.
Oh, nice.
We're on payroll there. That's what I'm talking about.
No, that's all right. So yeah, you're gonna etch a keep Bitcoin shady.
I am,
or something with it, huh?
I need a picture of it now. Yeah. Wow, this thing's enormous.
I'll get that thing to you today. But anyways, so let's switch over to yesterday on the show. I had a University of Michigan student. He's an electrical engineer and studying performance art technology. And when I told him that, he had to ask you a question, he was real curious about what's the best way for him to learn about crypto, because he admittedly knew nothing about it. And I think, it might be, he sees it as taboo still. Where should he go? Does he go to bitcoin.com? Where's he go?
Well, just a simple Google search will bring up a ton of information. Reading the white paper, if you don't know anything about Bitcoin at all, just reading Satoshi's white paper will give you a huge understanding of what it really is and what its mission was when he thought of it. Yeah. YouTube is a great source for information also. It just varies on, who you watch. So one guy I like to watch is Chico Crypto. He's very informative. He's not very opinionated, and he's not very biased towards any particular project either. So he does great research. So he's one channel I would recommend to watch if you want to learn about new and upcoming things.
All right.
As far as just general knowledge of Bitcoin, it's all over the internet. You can read it anywhere. That's the best place. Or ask
So
you, or I come into the Fledge and ask you about it.
he thinks I'll try to take all his money.
Right.
All right. So tomorrow on the show, I have Bianca Green, and she runs 24K Talent Agency. I'm stepping on her name a little bit because she didn't confirm with me, but I hope it's her tomorrow. What do you want to ask her so I can pass a question on to her?
Let's ask her. I like what you said earlier. So I've been thinking about this the whole time, and I haven't come up with a great question, in my opinion. So I'm going to ask, where do you find your talent?
All right. So I'll ask her that, but I always turn it on you. So I'm going to ask you, where do you find most of your precious metal? Is it just come to you? Do you go searching?
Occasionally I'll do auctions and auctions or estate sales is a good place. But mostly it just comes in here. I advertise a lot, and I've been here for 8 years, and a lot of people know that I buy gold. So it just comes in the door: gold, silver, platinum, diamonds. They come in, I give an estimate of what I would pay for it, and they'd say yes or no. So yeah.
I like your I don't know if you said Padnos or Friedland.
Padnos. This is the one
I like that analogy or that metaphor because, if I brought my refrigerator that's working from my house to Padnos and said, hey, I want you to hold this for a little bit, and they'd said, well, here's the $35 for scrapping it, and then I didn't come back and get it, I wouldn't be all pissed off at them, right? But that does happen to you for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair. Yeah. Because the scrapper. Yeah.
It's not. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but people don't. The thing is it's the exact same thing. Because, you could take a $1,200 refrigerator to Padnos that works, and they're just going to give you a scrap fee for it, $35.
Yeah.
Here's a little different. We don't just give you a flat $35, but I take the spot price and give you, I show everybody the numbers too. So I'm very, very transparent in my business. There's no secrets here. I'll teach you how to do what I'm doing. That's another thing I do when people come in. I educate people who don't understand so much, how the value is determined, especially in diamonds. A lot of people go diamond shopping, and then they come in here and I give them an education on diamonds about color, clarity, cut, symmetry, fluorescence, all the characteristics that bring value to it. And they go, oh, that's why, these aren't apples to apples, even though they're both a diamond.
Yeah. So, I heard that kid that came in earlier wanted to fix his own chain, and you said, go right ahead.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was cool. All right. So I'm going to take care of just a little bit of Fledge business.
Okay.
Friday morning, 9 a.m., like this morning, and next Friday, 99 problems, but a pitch ain't one. So come do that. It's a lot of fun. Every damn day airs every damn day at 2 p.m. 10,000 Fledges is every Tuesday at 3 p.m. and Coding Club is starting back up on Monday, where we're going live and being virtual with our different software. You got to join Coding Club because we gotta do that pawning Bitcoin solution.
Yes.
We still got all kinds of stuff we want to do with Unity and
awesome. And that's starting on Monday.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be there.
Back up again. All right.
I'm coming.
So I always ask, I always say hi to that lady, Miss Betty, Sean. She's a big fan and big supporter of the entrepreneurs in the area. And I ask my guest to take us off with something wise or not wise. It can be deuces. It can be, don't play with fire. Whatever you want.
Well, thank you for watching, and I had a great time here. And I guess that's it. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you for being part of thank you for being part of Every Damn Day, for being a supporter of the Fledge. You've been a good friend of ours for quite a long time. And I look forward to just continuing this journey with you and figuring out where crypto's going to take us. And everyone out there that's a naysayer, keep being a naysayer until you're not. You sound like, you know, the old lady saying the internet's not ever going to do this for me. And now
it's a fad.
Yeah, it's just
internet's just a fad.
Just like Bitcoin. So,
just like Bitcoin.
Anyway,
thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming here. It was a lot of fun, Matt.
All right, Jerry.
See ya.
See ya.